All right, welcome back to another WrightStew Podcast. I am Paul Stewart.
And I am Brian Wright, and I believe it's Thursday, it's Friday Eve, and a little bit of definitely some sports things going on. A lot of playoff
Yeah,
basketball. You obviously got NHL playoffs,
indeed.
but one of the things that's interesting is Curry, after winning Game 1, is out with a hamstring pull. Game 2, if you're into basketball, which is kind of a big deal. They kind of stole Game 1, Paulie, and
Yeah.
so it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to. They feel like just a 3-point shooting team, but they do a lot more. Curry does a lot more than that. But I definitely have seen the threes be an integral part of a lot of teams' game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people been fired up about the Celtics, how they performed the first game, just jacking up threes. And they were ahead by 10 in the fourth quarter and give up the lead. And so there's something to, obviously three, we talked about it yesterday, is a huge part of the game. But when it comes to the balance of being able to go get points and slow possessions down a little bit, makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about this, and I think analytics and everything have driven folks to shoot more threes. And I guess I made the statement, we made the statement that I think realistically Steph Curry has changed basketball more than maybe any player. Hey, we all wanted to be like Mike. Nobody could be like Mike. Anybody can be Steph Curry. You can be a 5'2" white kid from the suburbs. You can be a 6'10" black kid from the city. You can be anybody and be like Steph Curry. You can just shoot out there and shoot threes. I mean, that's um
He
and
just makes them at a rate. And dude, his
well, he
shot.
makes them, yeah. And Steph, and I mean, to be fair, I mean, Steph's dad was one of the best 3-point shooters of his time. Steph grew up, going to Charlotte Hornet games as a kid. Him and his brother were in there shooting all the time. But that is, that's an interesting kind of thing as well to talk about. Like brother, I mean, Ozzy and Jose Canseco, twin brothers. Jose is the first 40-40 guy. He's an MVP. He does all that. Ozzy, got a cup of coffee.
Yeah, he's kind of a French guy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, we've got twins on our team now, Brian. We gotta see, figure that out. And I kind of
Yeah,
talked.
it is interesting, especially because you technically same DNA, but obviously not the same spirit, not the same soul, whatever you want to think about. There's something that differentiates. I made me think about your old teammate, Prince Fielder. So
Yeah,
I saw video of his son. He's got a 20-year-old son in minor league ball.
I remember him. I remember when he was a baby.
And
Yeah, he was the same. So we both had kids about the same time in that 2004 season. And
had he made it? Had he established himself yet, or not quite?
now Prince was in Double A at the time,
That's
2004.
what I thought. I knew you played with him at least for a year, if not two. And
Yeah, no, he was in Double A. We were both. He was on the way up. I was on the way down, sort of. Uh, just passing ships passing in the night. But he had had a kid, and I haven't kept up with. I'm like we weren't tight or anything. He was a very good teammate, good teammate, but we weren't close.
I'd say what's interesting though, and what made me think about neither one of their swings, the dad swing, I guess you call it the grandfather Francis
Simple, yeah.
swing, or his kid's swing, would be swings that you would teach. There's so many, like it's a very aggressive down through in the zone that's finished super high. It
Oh yeah.
looks like a combination of a Prince Fielder swing and like Reggie Jackson swing. That's
Oof.
what the Sun swing looks like. I mean, it's low getting through. I mean, all I can envision again. I didn't see Reggie play a ton. Obviously, he was kind of what he
Oh my
was
God,
before I
yeah.
was really into it. But you see those highlights from the '70s and maybe early '80s when he's playing for the Yankees, and he is just getting after it when he swings.
Oh,
That back knee is almost on the ground.
I wonder what they do all the bat speeds now. I wonder if they can go back. His was probably like 200 miles an hour. Right, I'm gonna go off topic here for a second. Have you seen this is we might be a little late to this, but have you seen all the internet rage on gorillas versus humans? sort of thing?
Yeah, yeah, we are a little bit late, and I've actually changed my opinion. My daughter asked me about it, and I had one opinion to start with, and then I heard like a zoologist or somebody who feels like they would know and have more experience with it, and so I have some pretty strong opinions. If you've thought about it, I'll hear yours, and then I'll give you mine.
Not given it much. I've seen some of the simulations and things, and then all the funny stuff started happening. My favorite one was like one Pedro Martinez versus 100 Don Zimmers.
I have seen that one.
That one was pretty funny. So what? So give me. So I haven't.
So
It's
it's just like it
one
sounds.
gorilla versus 100 humans. 100.
Yeah, 100 humans, and there clearly is a there's got to call it average guys, right? It's not just any human. So
It's me and
average
you.
guys.
It's not Albert Bell or
Yeah, you're
Arnold
not.
Schwarzenegger. It's
It's
just
not Mike
normal.
Tyson, right? But the idea was originally I was like, dude, the gorilla's going to take out 100 humans. That was my original thought.
I don't think so.
And so, well, you and the zoologist are on the same page. So the gorillas just don't have the stamina. So if you had 20, 30, 40 guys that were willing to sacrifice,
Yeah.
and then you could eventually enough of the humans could take down the gorilla. But that originally, I mean, you think about, I mean, they're like 20 times stronger than humans. I mean, they
I get
are.
that, but I mean, I think well, the strength that humans have is their brain, right? I mean, and then you say, all
So
right,
you got to turn that off because there's got to be 30 of them that are willing to just go in and like, who's going to be the first 30? They're just going to die, or
yeah,
maybe first
well,
20. There's going to be a percentage that just die.
I mean, again, it's a simulation, right? So you're,
Well, no, you got to. I think you got to play it out as a real
oh,
thing,
real
like real
humans, all
life.
right, well, like then you're like, hey, we're gonna sneak up from this guy from behind. We're gonna try to get him, and then you've got to have some guys who just have some courage. Maybe give him a couple of shots of something and let him go. The humans have to win. I mean, there's no way they don't wear him down, or two guys jump on some of his arm and then punch him in the head. I don't know. I think
No, your instincts was what the zoologist said. It's like, hey, they have great strength, but they don't have great endurance. It's like even the battles when they fight in the wild with each other,
like
it's
like 90
almost
seconds
like
to
yeah, you're on it, and so they could do some damage. There's going to be a handful of people that have broken necks and just
just
ferocious
flung around.
damages.
Yeah. I mean, if Planet of the Apes taught us anything, I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah,
that's a good series. I enjoyed that one.
I
Then
did too, especially the remake. Yeah,
yeah, the newer ones. Um, and then I saw another one that said, "Oh, actually, people." And then people started getting super like, "Well, actually, hippopotamuses are the most violent animals. They kill more people in Africa than." Which I think
yes,
I'm big Michael Crichton fan, the author who wrote Jurassic Park and Andromeda Strain and Sphere and all these. He wrote the book Congo. Read that in high school, loved it so much. Great book. And there's a scene in there, and I think it's in the movie. The movie was terrible, but I think it was in the movie. But anyway, there's a scene where they're floating down the river and they start getting attacked by hippos. But in the book, they do a great job of explaining like about hippopotamuses, their strength, their bite power and all that sort of thing.
yeah, and very territorial. I have watched some
Yeah.
National Geographics. Yeah.
Yeah, you love that kind of stuff. So,
Hey, I
but
want to jump to something else that we talked about, and I don't know if you thought about it, but I'm experiencing a little bit from a different perspective than you. But how about these postseason tournaments where, like in our middle school, I think there's like 20 teams that are in the postseason tournament. Like us, we'll be a 2 seed. We're getting like a triple bye. And I just think there's got to be something to where we say, you didn't win half your games. So let's just say half your games. We're going to say you're done for the year and try to get
why don't
better
they just
next year.
have like there has to be? So we've talked about this before. So for a conference tournament like the ACC or SEC, I am all for everybody in the conference being in the tournament, right? And then you can get seeded out, or you can have for a postseason tournament like this. Let's have some standings. Let's have the top eight. Eight's a nice clean. No double elimination. Like
Yeah, single elimination.
18. You 3 games to win it all. Do it.
So what they've done here, so we're going to end up having triple bye. And then if you get to the championship game, it's best 2 out of 3. It's a lot. It's a lot. And
Well,
they've drawn out the season, dude. We will only end up playing like 16 games over March, April, and May. It's like, dude, couldn't we cram this in a little bit tighter and like been done?
I'm a
I
big
mean,
fan of just getting knocking games out. Like, hey, we're just
baseball is made to be played often. It is
oh yeah.
not made to be playing once a week or, even I even think it kind of will travel baseball, right? You go and you play every other weekend, you play 4 games every other weekend or whatever, 5 games.
Yeah.
And then you have like a week of not seeing live arm unless you have a coach in a situation where you're able to make it work and able to scrimmage. But baseball is not really a game that's designed to be played like every other weekend.
No, play it every day. Yeah, play, and we've talked about it before, and I think I would love to have so so I appreciate what travel is for getting kids who are more committed, who want to, play at a higher level, and do more. I appreciate that side of it. But rather than play on weekends, and I've shared this idea, and I would love for somebody to put this together, but have a travel regular season. Just play
Yeah,
Monday,
let's
Wednesday,
play. Let's play
Friday.
2 or 3 days a week. Yeah,
Yeah,
play a Tuesday and Friday.
yeah, and then have your weekends free so you can go, to the beach or mountains or whatever you like to do. We live here in the greatest state in the union. We can go to the beach or the mountains, whichever we choose. If we want to stay, it's a misrepresented section, the Piedmont. Nobody's ever like, hey Brian, you'll go check out the Piedmont region of North Carolina. Nobody
Well,
does.
if you go to the zoo, that's I'm kind of right there in the
That's
Piedmont
the
area.
that's the foothills, I think. That's kind of
No,
getting.
I mean that's considered like that little Piedmont area. We're the triangle. This area. I don't disagree with you,
Yeah. So anyway,
but it
but
is.
a regular season where you can, because we've got the thing that happens a lot of times in the travel world is you get caught up trying to win a pool game so that you can get in the better bracket and the whole thing, and it turns into so you don't give your kids a chance to really have a little bit
Hey,
of
then you run into those teams that they lost their first game on Sunday, and they had somebody that died 8 years ago that they're honoring, and so we can't play the second game, and it's like, huh, okay.
so this
I mean,
so I'm gonna lay this out. So this is a personal soapbox and gripe for Brian and I. There was a couple times last year when
there's at least twice, if not 3 times.
we were in the Sunday and we lost our first game. So not ideal, right? But it's the bracket play. And then so what the tournament is supposed to is there's supposed to be a consolation game from the other loser. And so nobody ever wants to play the consolation game. And there was a time, and so our thought process is, hey, we practice a ton. Let's play it. We have umpires, we have fields, we're all here. And these other teams just get so caught up in winning the tournament or getting points for whatever tournament they're in or trophy, whatever it is. It's stupid. And we're like, why do we practice? What are we doing? Like, let's get. So, anywho, there's a game last year, and Brian and I so a couple times we just got burnt. We just straight waited, assuming that the game will be played, and we're ready to start the game, and they're like, oh no, that team left. Well, hey, don't be afraid to tell somebody, right? So anywho, so what we started doing, we got super proactive, and even to the point where like there was a game going on, it hadn't even started yet. I would go up to both coaches and like, hey, good luck. But if you lose, are you going to stick around? Because we're here waiting. We want to play. And all the coaches are like, oh yeah, we'll probably like they say that, then knowing full well, then they'll send a messenger to me like, oh no, we're not going to play.
Yeah, they'll send somebody over to tell you. It's like, take gross.
Yeah,
They're just not having the couth,
yeah.
and
So
even
anywho,
then, I mean, just
yeah,
some
we had a
BS
team,
reasons.
we had
Yeah,
a team where they had just lost. And so not a great time, but we let them have their huddle and we approached the coach and the coach is like, "Oh yeah, we had a player who died last year and this is like the anniversary of them dying or something." And like we both kind of felt bad about it.
right. Yeah, you step back from it, but then you're like, dude, you were already here and you were already playing.
Yeah. So if you won, would you have not played the second game because right?
Yeah, Yeah, your logic is so flawed. It makes no sense. Because at that point, your goal is to help your kids get better. It's one thing if you played in one of these long tournaments and
It's
you're
a
playing the
ninth game in
sixth
3 days.
game in the
Yeah.
third day. Yeah, yeah. If you've done something different, but that's definitely a soapbox. Hey, let's jump one more time. I got one more subject that I thought was kind of interesting that I saw.
Sure.
So Pickens gets traded
Yeah, I saw that.
from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They picked up DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
And so it felt like some kind of real, now they ain't got a quarterback, but it felt like some kind of real duo. So Pickens gets traded to the Cowboys. And now you got Lamb, who at times feels like a prima donna, but you got Lamb and you have Pickens with the Cowboys with Dak. And so it's going to be, football still in headlines in the offseason, but that's a pretty big one.
Yeah, yeah. And what the Steelers just got a bunch of draft picks, right? Was that a 20?
Yeah. There's no extra player. It was like a third round. It didn't feel like, I know it's the last year of the contract. Pittsburgh makes a lot of good decisions. I'll tell you what else happens a lot of times with Pittsburgh. You see a lot of their players that are kind of mostly in check with them, and then they go somewhere else and they act crazy. I think of Antonio Brown. I think of Bell. I think of some other guys. It's like, dude, when they were with Pittsburgh, hey, they performed really well, but they leave, and all of a sudden these guys were kind of batshit crazy.
Shows you who Tomlin was, yeah.
Yeah, and how he's able to manage those personalities and kind of keep everybody in check. And I don't think Tomlin gets enough credit, to be honest with you. But the other side is, you think, they probably have seen some flaws because Pickens is uniquely talented, man. I think I think he had like 55 or 60 catches and he still had 900 yards. And he had Russ, who's on the backside of his better part of his career for sure.
Been around for a while.
And I don't know. It's just, let me jump into another thing. If you are the Steelers, are you willing to, I guess you have no choice now, but I would imagine there's still some moves that can be made. Are you willing to wait for Aaron Rodgers? Or do you try to put together a trade and maybe get Cousins out of Atlanta? Because Cousins is clearly the backup in Atlanta now.
Yeah.
And do you try to put together a trade that you could have Cousins as the number one?
As crazy as it sounds, I would much rather have Cousins than
I think so too. At this point, I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
And that may be part of what's taken so long is Tomlin's like, Rodgers brings a lot with him, dude. Like, it's.
And again, I like him. I think he would probably be an awesome guy to go have a beer with and hang out and kind of hear his thoughts. But I think 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, he'd probably been an awesome guy to play with. Just feels like now, as you age, I'll say this: as you age, you kind of, your priorities and kind of what's important to you changes. And
Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old.
That's right.
He'll turn 42 during the season.
Yeah.
That's no. He's only 4 years younger than me. Like, that's no.
Well, he's 3 younger than me, and I could not imagine getting hit by grown men that are in shape.
No,
or actually anybody, but definitely grown men.
Maybe we'll do a little video where I just go there and tackle you. Like, it was.
Oh, no. I don't know if I'd get back up, Paulie. I need some dry needling or something, like dry needling, maybe some TENS units, maybe something else.
When's the last time you got, like, really hit? Do you remember? Like,
it had to be back to football, dude. High school football. It's the last time. Well, I got a couple of scuffles in college and fights. So, yeah, but I wasn't completely in my. I come out on top a couple of times, only 2, but there were, and it was a good experience. It was a good team bonding experience.
Was this a baseball off the field baseball? Like,
yeah. It was off the field. We were having a little get together, and I don't want to go into details. This isn't that kind of show, but yeah, we were having a good time, and people get a little liquid courage, and at some point I can take a lot. But then I get to a point where I'm not taking. It's kind of like I am in real life, honestly, in that environment too, because it was real life. Like, I can take it and kind of chirp back and forth.
Yeah.
But once it gets to a point, it's like, all right, this is what we're doing. And so, but yeah, so that's the last time. So I was probably 21, 22. The last time I've been hit by anything.
I can't remember the last. I mean, I played football like Pop Warner when I was like 9, 10. And I never got hit that hard because I was always bigger. I always was kind of doing the hitting. Um, Gosh, man, I remember I was in a home plate collision one time in high school baseball where I was somehow the catcher was back on the backstop. I think it was an overthrow from the outfield. And somehow I was playing first, and I ended up covering the plate. And I think I just covered too much. Somebody ran into me, but I stood my ground and they kind of bounced off me. Man, I don't remember the last time I got hit hard doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, you got good size. I would say, what's funny, dude, I remember back in the day, speaking of like Legion baseball,
Yeah.
like they used to have the MLB rules where you could run over the catcher
Oh, truck
in
him,
Legion
yeah.
baseball. I saw it happen and some terrible injuries come out of it. I still think you should be able to take guys out at second base in MLB. We talked about that. That'd be one of the rules I'd like to see change. I don't necessarily like being able to run over the catcher at home. There's such a vulnerable state. Obviously, Pete Rose ended some guy's career in All-Star game.
Yeah,
I mean,
Red
there's
Sox.
things that really happened there. But part of me says, hey, you're a professional athlete. You need to know how to protect yourself too. So that's the
Fair.
conflict a little bit. I didn't like it in high school, but when you're in that moment, dude, and you see that catcher, he's up, he's kind of blocking the plate. I mean, it's tempting. I mean, there were definitely times where we had a little brush up, and it was just part of the game. The culture has changed now when it
Yeah.
comes to that.
I do miss the seeing the guys sliding in the second and taking. You sent me a clip of Ozzie Smith the other day, like an Instagram like highlight reel. Gosh, man, see, like it was almost it looked like it was a fun game for him
Oh,
to
yes, yeah.
avoid this guy sliding in. And it looked like he never got hit. Like he
It
would
was just
step on the
that was
bag and
part of your
catapult,
skill.
throw in the air on the run. Like he was amazing.
I think there's something being lost without being taken away.
Yeah.
I would like to see that put back in there. It used to take, and not that it doesn't now, but you think about what Ozzy did around the base and avoiding, that conflict. He'd get that throw low, and if you're in the way, he's going to hit you in the face.
Yeah.
He's jumping over you as he's throwing. I mean, again, baseball looks for excitement. That was an exciting play that I don't completely understand why we took it away.
It was
And
just
again, I know there's injuries,
yeah. Well, do
but
you
there's
remember the beginning? So, going back to like opening weekend last year, Reese Hoskins with the
yes,
Brewers slid into Jeff McNeil,
yes.
and it
Wasn't
really
even that bad. And
it
McNeil acted
didn't
like a
look
little
that. And
bitch.
McNeil's
Yeah,
spike got caught in the ground was
yeah,
the issue, but it's because they don't know how to protect themselves,
that's right.
and he
Because
was
they never had to.
yeah, and yeah, like
And
that
honestly, I
was
like both of those players.
I like
Honestly,
well,
yeah.
I'm a Brewer, so I like Reese, and Reese was kind of popping off, and he's giving the old crying, wah.
Yeah.
And again, Reese didn't. I mean, he endeared himself to the Brewers fans that weekend, but he didn't do anything that was it didn't like
Egregious.
this. Yeah, he wasn't spikes high. It wasn't just slid past the bag a little bit. Really,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it wasn't bad. So
So, hey, good sports to watch. Hey, take us out of here. We got our Thursday, Friday Eve. We got to get taken off. You got anything else to add for the people?
no, man, no exciting weekend. Hurricanes up 1-0. Ready to watch that little playoff basketball this weekend. I think this is the first weekend I don't have a game or a tournament or
I'm going to Myrtle Beach for a dance competition.
we're gonna get some highlights from there, some
Maybe we'll
high
do a little
octane.
play by play. A little play by play. I don't necessarily know all the verbiage, but if I can relay how platinum and gold platinum and how that stuff. Your face says it
I don't
all
even know what you're
right
talking.
there.
I understand what those are medals. I know those are medals. I've never that's a world I've never been in.
Yeah, so hopefully you're staying in a nice little resort, staying in a little nice little resort down there. So we'll have a little pool time and we'll have a little dance time
Have they gotten the
and
fires taken care of in Myrtle Beach? Is everything still on fire down there?
not that I'm aware of. It may be. There was a shooting down there like a couple weekends ago, so we were hoping that prices would drop, but we I'm not sure what the the result of that was. I don't think there was anybody killed. Maybe not. But
I hope not.
it's
It's Dirty Myrtle. It's called Dirty Myrtle
yeah,
for a reason.
we're gonna have fun.
All right. Well, and enjoy that, and we'll see you on Friday though. We'll see you on Friday. Uh, make it a great Thursday. We'll see you soon.
Out, go pack, go Tigers.